Imagine you have the fastest car in Formula 1. You're performing at your absolute best. You're a top contender for the championship. And yet, the crowd still hates you. Well, that's exactly what happened with Lando Norris. This is the story of how the quirky, wholesome kid on the grid slowly turned into one of the most hated drivers in Formula 1, and then into a world champion.
Lando's laser-sharp focus for the title never faltered.
When Lando Norris entered F1 in 2018, he didn't have an ice-cold persona or an intimidating aura. He was awkward, wholesome, and played games during his spare time. He streamed on Twitch, he joked in interviews, he openly talked about mental health.
Hello everyone, I've completed my first race weekend as a Formula 1 driver. First weekend out in Australia.
From his viral press conference moment with Daniel Ricciardo to his banter with Max, he was always the little wholesome kid on the grid during his rookie years.
Don't worry, it's nothing to do with your question.
In a sport dominated by ruthless champions, some people looked at Lando and saw talent. Despite McLaren's early struggles, Lando performed admirably, from solid quality performance to great on-track racing. But there was something he was missing.
Here comes Lando Norris on Kimi Räikkönen down the main straight to about 205 miles an hour. Leclerc and Norris, they make contact, but Charles Leclerc keeps that second place.
A crucial piece that would make people see his racecraft. A Grand Prix win. The first cracks. Despite Lando's exceptional performances in qualies, he would somehow lose it during race starts. He would get up on the front row on Saturday with hopes of getting his maiden win, but things never went according to plan. Russia 2021 is a great example.
Lando Norris does get away very well. George Russell, who's ahead of Carlos Sainz, and Ricciardo coming up alongside him.
Lando's leading the race. The weather is awful, and there are 5 laps left. The team suggests pitting. He stays out. The rain intensifies.
We'll only find out of the checkered flag what Hamilton loses by making this pit stop. He slides his way off the circuit and into the barriers.
Yeah, he managed to get out.
And in a matter of corners, it's gone.
Lando Norris slides off the track and avoids the barriers, manages to keep going.
What could have been his breakthrough moment became the clip people replayed for years. He bottled it. And just like that, the narrative began. He wasn't hated after Russia 2021, but fans' image of him as a great driver definitely shifted. But things became incredibly worse in 2024, the year it all began. After years of building tractors, McLaren finally had a car worth competing for wins and podiums. They somehow found a lot of performance in 2024 and easily caught up with Red Bull, which was the fastest car that year. Miami was the place where Lando would finally break the no-wins curse. And that's exactly what he did. After a perfect pit stop during the safety car, Lando took the lead and converted it into his first win.
Lando Norris is going to venture back out onto the racetrack as the race leader.
Many considered it luck, a fluke of sorts. Is McLaren actually building a competitive car? Many thought it was a one-time thing, and 2024 would go the exact same way as 2023. Absolute Red Bull dominance. But it wasn't until Imola that everyone realized that the Papaya car actually had pace. After qualifying in P2, Lando was behind Max the entire race, finishing just 7/10 behind the Dutchman. That's the same year in which Max was in front of the entire grid by more than 20 seconds in Bahrain.
Max Verstappen wins the season opener. He takes the Bahrain Grand Prix.
The performance jump was insane, but ironically, it brought Lando's image down. The mistakes from previous seasons were still there, except now there was no slow car to blame. This time, it was entirely on Lando. Lando's PR destruction. But that's not where the Lando hate began either. It was the cheeky and arrogant remarks during the 2024 season that shifted the entire F1 community against him. Now, that's part of F1. Every driver makes confident claims. But in Lando's case, he couldn't back up those remarks. This made the community start viewing him in a negative light. Things really took a turn during the cooldown room in the Hungarian Grand Prix. After giving away the win to Piastri because of team orders, Lando wasn't in the best mood. And he took it out on the exact wrong person, Lewis Hamilton.
You had a fast car 7 years ago. 7 years ago.
And that's the event that really made the F1 community hate Lando. How can a driver with just a couple of wins disrespect the greatest of all time? That's what was going through everyone's mind. But it started to get worse. As the season progressed, the pressure got to Lando, and those remarks became insults. Skip to the Dutch Grand Prix, where Lando won the race with a massive gap. A great performance, no doubt, but just one post-race comment ruined it all. After beating Max at his home race, he said, "Simply lovely," a phrase that Max often uses when he wins races.
Very confident to throw out a simply lovely.
For many, this was disrespect against one of the best drivers of this generation. In a single year, Lando managed to disrespect two all-time greats of F1, and fans didn't take that lightly. Then came the Brazilian Grand Prix, and Lando started on pole, with Max, his competitor, in P16. The race was decided. There was no way Max could win the race.
Good reaction time for George Russell. The lead for George Russell.
The cards were all in favor of Lando. But Max is Max. He clawed through the entire grid, and with the help of Red Bull's strategic masterclass, he was in place to win the race. Not to mention Norris, again, made a huge error and went off track, allowing Max to take the lead.
Max Verstappen getting past Fernando Alonso. Here we go with Max Verstappen in another league right now. And off the road goes Lando Norris. Lando Norris, can he stay?
That simply lovely comment doesn't look well when your competitor can beat you from P16. Lando was rightfully frustrated, and he did what he usually does when he's not in his right mind. Made disrespectful comments. In the post-race interview, Lando called Max's race win pure luck, no talent. A statement which he apologized for in F1's award ceremony later.
It's not talent or, it's just luck. So.
Whether it's the pressure that got to Lando or his bad PR team, the narrative was shifting. The wholesome driver that everyone loved was slowly turning into one of the most hated drivers on the grid. 2025, the year of redemption. Going into 2025, it was clear that most fans were against Lando. His attitude got much better that year, but the damage was done. His wins were undermined and his mistakes were amplified. He got a great start that year with the Australian GP win, but soon fell behind as Oscar locked in.
The British driver sees the checkered flag first. Lando Norris wins the Australian Grand Prix.
For the entire first half of 2025, Lando was behind his teammate in points. Of course, that fueled the hate against him. Many said that despite having the best car, he still doesn't have the skills to be a world champion. His teammate, who was in his third year in F1, was performing much better in the same car. But by the second half of the year, Lando started to catch on. He started winning races. He won in Monaco and broke the track record, then Austria, and then his home race in Silverstone. Lando was performing again, but the hate was still there. But in the midst of that was another controversy taking place. Many claim that McLaren was favoring Lando. Monza and Silverstone are great examples. In Monza, McLaren asked Piastri to let Norris through just because he had a bad pit stop. McLaren's argument was this was to keep things fair, as Lando took pole and was leading the entire race. But many consider a bad pit stop to be part of racing. Plus, it doesn't look great when both drivers are fighting for the championship. It would have made sense to prioritize Lando in 2024, as he had the best chance of beating Max, but this time, things just didn't seem right. In Silverstone, Oscar got an unfair penalty, for which he asked the team to swap places with Lando, and McLaren declined. This is where fans started noticing that McLaren was favoring Lando, and combined with the damage done in 2024, this event truly shattered Lando's image. People didn't care who won the championship. All that mattered was that Lando Norris shouldn't win. By 2025, Lando had more or less gotten quiet. He was careful during interviews and didn't say much. He was saying everything he wanted on track. He started performing better, turning poles into wins. After Silverstone, he won in Hungary, then Mexico, and Brazil. Even in races he didn't win, he was on the podium. By the last race in Abu Dhabi, Lando was in the best place to win the championship. But he wasn't battling it out with his teammate. He was battling it out with the ice-cold Dutchman. Max, being Max, had somehow managed to close a 100-point gap in just a few races, taking him from third in the championship to second. It was one of the best comebacks in F1 history. It was 2024 all over again. Max versus Lando. And it was finally Lando's turn to show the world that he was a great F1 driver. All he needed to do was place in 4th to win the title. He qualified 2nd, but in the first few laps, he got overtaken by Piastri and was sitting in 3rd. But that didn't shake him. He knew he didn't need to win the race, he just needed to place 4th. After pitting on the 17th lap, he was in 9th and quickly made his way back up to the podium in 6 laps. He didn't wait for his competitors to pit, just clawed his way through the grid and took the 2025 title. Lando had done it. He'd proven that he had the skill to be the world champion. His name was written among the greats. And the narrative started to shift again. People still haven't forgiven him for his remarks, but they do respect him now for his amazing performance in 2025. The wholesome kid, the meme driver, the so-called bottler, all of it became part of the journey. Because the thing about F1 is it doesn't reward perfection. It rewards evolution. And Lando Norris evolved. From doubt to challenged to champion. And whether you loved him or doubted him, you also watched it happen.